In a seemingly quiet high-rise in downtown Chicago, something dark and disturbing occurred inside apartment 1601. Neighbors reported eerie sounds, strange sightings, and sudden disappearances. When police finally gained entry, what they found inside would baffle investigators and captivate true crime enthusiasts for years to come. Join us as we uncover the mystery of apartment 1601, a place where secrets festered and lives were shattered. The introduction to apartment 1601. Apartment 1601 was located on the 16th floor of a modern, upscale building in the heart of Chicago. Residents described it as quiet, with clean hallways and high security. But strange occurrences started in apartment 1601 just a few months after a man named Victor Gaines moved in. Victor was a private individual, mostly keeping to himself, which wasn't unusual in a large city apartment complex. Neighbors didn't know much about him, only that he worked from home and rarely ventured out. But soon, unusual noises, whispers, scraping sounds, and muffled cries began to be heard from his unit, disturbing those who lived nearby. The disturbances begin. Residents on the 16th floor initially brushed off the strange noises as ordinary apartment life. But the sounds intensified. One evening, a neighbor reported hearing a loud crash, followed by the eerie sound of someone crying. When the building manager went to check, Victor opened the door, looking disheveled and pale. He dismissed the commotion as just an accident, mentioning that he had knocked something over. However, after this encounter, the activity from apartment 1601 only grew more disturbing. Flickering lights, strange smells, and even sudden bursts of cold air were reported. The building manager began receiving complaints, and some tenants even moved out, fearing for their safety. A sudden disappearance. One day, a young woman named Emily, who lived next door, mysteriously disappeared. Her family hadn't heard from her in days, and when her concerned sister came to check, she found Emily's apartment empty, with her belongings scattered as if she'd left in a hurry. Emily's friends and family started a search campaign, handing out flyers and urging police to investigate. Witnesses claimed they had seen Emily speaking to a man matching Victor's description shortly before her disappearance. This led investigators to apartment 1601. When questioned, Victor was evasive. He claimed he hadn't seen or spoken to Emily in weeks. Without concrete evidence, the police had no grounds to investigate further. Yet something about Victor's demeanor troubled the detectives assigned to the case. The investigation intensifies. With Emily still missing, suspicions around Victor grew. Neighbors claimed they'd seen a shadowy figure in Victor's apartment at odd hours and heard what sounded like furniture being dragged. One resident, curious about the strange happenings, even set up a hidden camera in the hallway. The footage revealed Victor moving large, covered objects in and out of his apartment late at night. As the investigation continued, police received an anonymous tip that Emily had last been seen entering apartment 1601. With this new lead, detectives sought a warrant to search Victor's apartment, hoping to find answers about Emily's disappearance. The search of apartment 1601. The search of apartment 1601 took place early on a cold autumn morning. Officers entered the apartment, expecting to find signs of a struggle or any clues leading to Emily's whereabouts. But what they discovered was far beyond their expectations. Inside, the apartment was a chaotic mess. Strange symbols were drawn on the walls, and various personal items belonging to people other than Victor were scattered throughout. Disturbingly, some of Emily's belongings were found mixed in with the clutter, including her purse and a diary with entries that stopped just days before her disappearance. As detectives went deeper, they discovered a hidden room, which seemed to be soundproofed. In this room, they found a disturbing setup: chains on the walls, scratch marks on the floor, and a foul odor that permeated the entire space. The police immediately declared the area a crime scene and intensified the search for further evidence. The dark past of Victor Gaines. As authorities dug into Victor's background, they found disturbing details. Victor had been implicated in several missing person cases in various cities but had always managed to avoid conviction due to lack of evidence. A pattern emerged: he would move to a new location, neighbors would start reporting strange occurrences, and soon after, someone would disappear. Investigators also uncovered Victor's fascination with the occult. He had kept journals filled with cryptic writings, some detailing rituals meant to trap souls and harness their energy. This revelation led police to suspect that Victor may have been involved in more sinister activities than they initially believed. More victims come forward. After the media reported the discovery in apartment 1601, more individuals came forward. One woman recounted her experience with Victor, claiming that he had stalked her for weeks before she managed to move away. Another man reported that he had narrowly escaped a dangerous situation with Victor at a previous residence, suspecting Victor had tried to drug him during a casual meetup. These accounts painted a chilling portrait of Victor Gaines as a man with a dangerous fixation on control and isolation. Each new report led detectives to believe there were more victims who hadn't yet come forward, potentially too traumatized or ashamed to report their experiences. The trial of Victor Gaines. With enough evidence now in hand, authorities arrested Victor Gaines, charging him with the abduction of Emily and the assault of multiple other victims. During the trial, prosecutors laid out a case depicting Victor as a man with deep psychological issues, a fascination with the occult, and a history of predatory behavior. Victor, however, maintained his innocence. He claimed that he was the target of a witch hunt and that his interest in the occult was purely academic. Despite his defense, the chilling evidence, particularly the state of apartment 1601, was enough to secure his conviction. In a haunting final twist, Victor allegedly whispered to an officer, "Apartment 1601 will always keep its secrets." To this day, some investigators believe that Victor was involved in more disappearances than the courts could prove. The legacy of apartment 1601. Following Victor's conviction, apartment 1601 was left vacant, with many residents refusing to live on the 16th floor. The landlord tried to renovate, but every new tenant reported unsettling experiences, whispers in the hallway, cold drafts, and the feeling of being watched. Rumors spread that apartment 1601 was cursed, and to this day, the building's 16th floor remains nearly empty. Victor's crimes and the mystery surrounding the apartment have turned it into a local legend, with some saying the victim's spirits still linger there, waiting for justice. What really happened in apartment 1601? Was it the result of one man's twisted mind, or was there something darker at play in that ominous high-rise? The mystery may never be fully solved, but one thing is clear: those who enter apartment 1601 are forever changed by its secrets.
Thank you for watching this episode from The Lures of the Past. If you enjoyed this journey into mystery and intrigue, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when our next tale from the past goes live.